Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gerza. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am featuring a brand new, gorgeous suite of online exclusive products called Mixed Media Florals. Now, a week ago today, we had a huge volume of new products drop. We had a new mini catalog launch, we had new online exclusives, we had a new scrapbooking collection and celebration started, and we had new kits. Like it was just almost over. And I don't want it to get lost in all of the other new products that have launched. So I thought I would highlight it this week. I think by the end of this video, I think you're going to see why I love it so much. But I'm going to show you the suite in case you missed it. We're going to make 3 projects together. And then I have a whole bunch more samples to share with you because I just can't stop creating with this suite. So if you are joining me today, let me know you're here. Give me a hello in the comments. Let me know whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. It's always nice to know that I'm streaming to both places. I'm supposed to be. So it's always nice when I see comments from both so they know that systems are all go and working as they're supposed to. So while you are doing that, I'm going to flip to my desk here and I'm going to show you these gorgeous products. So here we go. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for a minute. So this is the suite. It's a mega suite because we've got 2 bundles. We've got an embossing folder. We've got embellishments. So I'm going to kind of feature each item separately so that you can kind of really get a feel for what this suite's about. So first of all, we have the Mixed Florals bundle. Okay, so we have this gorgeous image-only stamp set. Lovely floral images. I am a sucker for spring flowers, so this set just speaks to me. And the other thing is that these are very large images. You're going to see that in a minute. If you look at these dies, these open dies cut out the stamp images. So these images are shown at only 75%. Okay. So if you look at this die, this is the die that actually cuts out those tulips. So it is quite a large image set, which I love because one thing to stamp and there's your focal image done, right? So some beautiful images and dies to cut them out. We got these little bitty ladybugs, which are so cute. So there's actually 2 stamps of each ladybug. There's 1, 2, 3 different versions, and there are 2 of each stamp to die cut those. And then we have this gorgeous extra die, which cuts this sort of foliage image, which you will see on one of the cards we're going to do as well. So this is the Mixed Floral bundle. Absolutely gorgeous. The other coordinating bundle is Mixed Labels, and it gives you your sentiments. Okay, so you'll notice that these little flowers are the same as these little flowers. So there is some cross coordination there. But honestly, I absolutely love these label dies. I can't stop using them. They have the most adorable stitching feature on them. These layer really nicely. So you can actually layer all 3 of these if you choose to. So they're just really, really cute dies. I've had a few banner dies, so this one didn't excite me as much, but these little guys are super cute, and this little one is super cute. It's got stitch detail as well. So that is the Mixed Labels bundle. The stamp set, lots of sentiments, mixed fonts. That's kind of the way things go these days, the mixed fonts. I really, really like that look, and I love the fonts that they chose. So that is the Mixed Labels bundle. Okay, and then we have some gorgeous paper. What I love about this paper is that it is super eclectic. Different patterns, different color palettes. There's something for every occasion in this paper pack, and that's what really appeals to me. So we have some sort of geometric or random patterns. These look amazing embossed with the embossing folder, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So we've got that one, and then a larger version sort of in warm tones. So both of those look amazing, embossed with the embossing folder. And then we have this pattern, which would be gorgeous as a scrapbook page, excuse me, but also can easily be cut into 6 panels for card fronts. I will show you a finished project where I've used that at the end. And then we've got this beautiful floral. We've got some greenery, and we've got another floral with a white background. So these look really, really busy, but when we flip them over, we have much more subdued patterns. We've got some black and white patterns. That page is just begging to be colored. And then we've got some more sort of subdued neutral washes. We've got a nice stripe. and then a wash in the Boho Blue and the Shy Shamrock. But what's really cool is when you pair these really busy patterns with some of the more subdued patterns, like when you put those together, you get a beautiful combination. Or where's the other one? This one looks really lovely with this one. You see that? So even though you may find that these are really like bold and overwhelming, used with the sort of more neutral patterns on the back sides, they work really, really well. And I'm going to, again, show you some samples that use several patterns from the paper pack. So that's the DSP. And then, of course, we have this beautiful embossing folder. It's called Plaster Painting. It's one of our jumbo folders. And again, you're going to see this on the first card we're going to do. So I will show you what a piece of cardstock looks like. But it's a very deep, bold pattern. And again, looks amazing on those sort of splotchy, blotchy patterns in the DSP when you emboss them. And then these embellishments, I almost missed them. They're called low profile dots, and they truly are. So they look like they've got like a lot of dimension to them. They've got lots of pop. This is Petal Pink and Gold. But when you put them on a project, they are almost completely flat. They're very, very low profile, and they're great for postage, right? If you're putting them in the mail, they're not going to catch on a sorting machine. So these are safe for mailing, okay? All right, now let me pull in our project for today and we'll get going. But before we do, I want to acknowledge everyone who has joined us here. Okay, I'm finally seeing some people coming in from Facebook. I was a little worried for the first couple of minutes. All I was seeing was YouTube. So I'm glad we are live in both spots. All right, so we got Lauren and Laura from Ohio. Hi, Crystal. Hi, Diana. Welcome. Hi, Donna and Dee and Brenda and Jean. Hello, hello. I am feeling much better. Thank you, Jean. I had a rough week last week. I had a crazy busy day today, but I'm feeling much, much better. Hi, Jeannie K. Hi, Dee. And Deb, all right, you got the DSP early and you got your bundle coming. Okay, you will love it. I hope I give you some ideas today. Hi, Colleen and Cheryl and Krista and Becky and Judy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Gail. Hi, Julie. Yeah, Facebook's been doing weird things. I don't know. I've had lots of people tell me they're not getting their notifications of when I'm live. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so this is the first project we're going to do today. This is super simple. I did some stamping on DSP, which is something that I like to do from time to time. But I wanted to show you a way to showcase this large tulip image, but have it not be sort of dominating on the card. This is actually a case of a congratulations card I received from Stampin' Up for being a top achiever last year. So I've had it sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. So I cased that card. So here we go. Let's get to it. So to start, I have a 3x4 inch piece of the DSP. Why is this white on the back? Oh, you know why? Because it's the back side of, I'm like, why is this not patterned? It is, hang on, let me show you which piece this is from. It's from this piece. There's the blue. So I just happened to catch a center piece, which is why it's white. But all of our DSP is double-sided, so I should have known. Okay, so we're going to stamp on this piece. And I have my very large tulip stamp. So I'm using the big jumbo block. What block is this? This is like F. Yeah, it's our biggest block that we carry. It's really designed for background stamps. But this is a very large stamp. It just doesn't quite fit on the next size down. So I'm using my jumbo one. And we're going to ink up the stamp with some Misty Moonlight ink. So whenever I have a large stamp like this, I always take my ink pad to the stamp. It's much easier than trying to maneuver this huge stamp and block on that small ink pad. So this is just an easier way to ink, and you can make sure you've got ink on the entire stamp. And then we're going to stamp, and we're going to angle this stamp a little bit so that it's kind of coming up at a bit of an angle there. And we'll peel that off there. And look at, isn't that a pretty image? I love that image so much. All right, I'm going to keep that ink handy because we're going to use it in a minute. Next, we're going to add a little piece of This is new brushed, this again, online exclusive. It came out actually in November, and I just found that I had a pack that I forgot that I had ordered. So this is brushed silver and gold metallic specialty paper. It's got this lovely sort of brush texture to it. This piece started out as 1.5 by 3. And I just put it into my guillotine trimmer and just kind of chopped it. I didn't really measure. This is maybe 1/2 inch. I don't know, ish. Just because I wanted a nice angle there. So what we're going to do is just glue that along the bottom edge of our stamped panel. So I'll just grab a little liquid glue if it decides to come out. It is chilly in my studio today. I find my adhesives don't like to play when it's cold. I don't like to play either when it's cold, let's be honest. All right, get that centered on there. Okay, so I love the angle cut on this. It just adds a little bit of visual interest. And then I have just a little strip of white. So this is I'm going to say a scant 1/2 inch wide. Yeah, it's like a smidge less than 1/2 inch. Okay, and we are going to stamp one of the sentiments from the mixed label stamp sets. It's for a great friend. And again, I'm going to stamp this in Misty Moonlight ink. Now I am going to do a test run, because this is not a photopolymer stamp, and I always feel like I am taking my chances here. Oh, that one worked. All right, I always get a little nervous with rubber because I can't see exactly where I'm stamping. All right, so we've got that stamped. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue that butt up right against to the metallic piece, just on an angle, just like that. Okay. Hi, Jane from Kitchener, Ontario. You're just up the highway, up the 401. Well, up Highway 8, I guess, technically. Welcome. I'm glad you could join me today. So we're going to glue that on, and then I actually intentionally cut this longer than this piece is wide so that I had some room in case I needed to adjust if I didn't get my sentiment stamped quite centered. Now I'm just going to take and trim off that excess bit, just like that. And now I'm ready to layer that on a Misty Moonlight mat. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So we're just going to center that on there. Add a little bit of glue. Alexina, I have been waiting for you. You were a winner of my prize during my live launch party. I did post it, but I think you may have missed the post, and I didn't have a way to tag you. So you are a lucky winner of my stamp set giveaway from last week. So I'm going to ask you to message me with your mailing information so I can send you your prize. How's that for a welcome to my live today? All right, so that is our focal image. Our background here is that gorgeous plaster painting embossing folder. It is a real wow. This, you know what this reminds me of? If you did this in like pastel colors, it reminds me of gelato. If you've ever been to Italy and gone to a gelato shop and see this is it's like the texture of gelato. That's it reminds me of. So I'm gonna have to do this in like, I don't know, sauce seafoam and peach pie, because it's going to remind me of my mango gelato from Italy. All right, so we are going to layer our focal image onto that beautiful embossed panel, and we're actually going to pop it up, because why not, right? Dimension is always fun. So we will add our dimensionals. I was waiting for your name to pop up, Alexina, because I wanted to make sure I caught you so you could get your prize. All right, so we are going to center this on our panel. And it's always find it's a little bit tricky to get my pieces perfectly straight when I am popping them up because of the shadow, right? It's easy to kind of get it a little bit off. All right, we're going to add that to a basic white card base. This is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And yes, Leetta, I agree. It is a beautiful folder. It's got some real wow factor. Like it's stunning. And it's a very deeply embossed image. All right, I'm going to use some liquid glue to glue this on. Just again, because it's so deeply embossed, I want to get into all those little nooks and crannies and make sure I get good adhesion here. So we will pop this on and center it. So I I have done white on white, so a white embossed panel on a white card base. This is one embossing pattern folder where you definitely would want to do that. It really is going to weaken your card front if you emboss your actual card base. And I personally like having it clean on the inside. So I generally, if I am embossing a panel or embossing the card front, I will do a separate panel. So it's layered. Okay. Now my last touch on here, I honestly could not tell you the last time I actually used rhinestones on a project. I was looking for something silver and I'm like, huh, rhinestones. Can't believe I couldn't tell you, honestly, the last time I have used rhinestones. We have so many amazing embellishments. I just kind of forget that the rhinestones are a thing. And I thought, oh, rhinestones are silver. I'm going to pull out my pack of rhinestones. And I honestly think this is from a long retired version of our rhinestone basic gems, but it still does the job. So there you go. There is our finished card number 1. On the inside of my sample, I stamped my tulips again and then added another sentiment from the mixed labels stamp set. Okay. And this would be one that you could do in lots of different colors, right? You could do a whole set of those. All right, let's get that out of the way. And we're going to move on to number 2. So that one was kind of a quick and easy. This one is also quick and easy, but it does involve some coloring. So as you probably know, here in Canada, winters are cold and they are long. So we are in the thick of yucky January winter weather. It's cold and snowy and just not fun. And so I am longing for spring and sunshine and spring color and green grass. So this just made me feel the spring sunshine for a few minutes while I colored this. So I'm going to just pull out, I've already started coloring my image, but look how large this image is, right? It's quite big, and it takes up pretty much your whole card front. So I've started this. I'm going to show you how I colored all of my parts here. So I'm going to start with the tulip. I'm using Petal Pink, light and dark, Stampin' Blends. I stamped my image in basic gray. Okay, and so I'm just going to lay down, again, a really quick, nothing super fancy or careful, layer of light Petal Pink. Okay, I'm not really worrying about getting out to the edges. And then I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm going to add my shadow. So I'm going to kind of come along the base. I'm going to follow this little sort of curve here, and then I'm going to get a little bit in sort of where the shadow would be in that petal there. And then I'm going to come back with my light and be a little bit more careful this time and fill in the rest. I'm going to leave a highlight there. I'm just going to leave that nice and light. I'm not going to add a second layer to that part just because that's where the light is reflecting. Okay, I'll hold that up so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Oh, yes, Edith, you will be well familiar with our Canadian winter weather because you get the same thing in Minnesota. That's absolutely true. Okay, for the leaf, I'm using light and dark soft seafoam. So once again, I'm just going to come down really quickly. And again, I'm not being super careful. I'm just putting down a layer of the light so that when I add the dark, it has a little, the cardstock is already a little bit damp. And that is going to allow the dark to really just kind of blend really, really easily. And then I'm going to come back with my light, fill in any gaps and just clean that up. Okay, so I find by laying down that light layer first that I just get much easier and more even blending. So I'm doing this leaf. And again, we'll come in with the dark. And then I'm also going to color the stem of this tulip in the dark as well, just so it stands out a little bit from the leaf because it's right against it. And I just want it, I don't want it to blend in with the leaf too much. And there we go. That's our leaves done. And then to do our little bitty flowers here, I'm just using light Pool Party. And again, I'm being really quick. I'm not doing any blending on these guys. Just being real quick with it. So I'll hold that up so you can see. Okay. All right. Cold and snowy in Kansas as well. All right. Well, welcome to the club. It is winter in northern North America. All right. We are going to add this gorgeous die cut. So if you look here, it looks like I've actually got two, but I didn't. I just cheated and cut this one in half. So this is a beautiful die cut, super detailed. It cuts really, really nicely. If you find you're having a hard time getting it to cut through, try flipping your sandwich so that the cutting blade is on top when you're running it through, and you'll probably get better results. I haven't had any issues cutting this one, but I know sometimes it depends on the tightness of your machine, right? So if you find it's not cutting super well, just flip your whole sandwich and have the cutting side up, and you will probably get better results. Okay, so we are going to cut this right here. I'm just going to kind of cut at an angle here. And then, oops, I should have trimmed this one too. There we go. And then we'll just kind of cut down there. We're not going to see all this ugliness. We're only going to see it from the top. Okay, so I just kind of cut it in half. And then I'm going to take some seal and run some seal kind of on the back side of my tulips here. And then I can arrange my grass. So we'll add that. Oopsie, this is hooked on my card. And then we're going to add this guy kind of coming in behind like that. And the nice thing is, because this is so pliable, you can like sort of bend it and get it arranged however you like it. Okay. All right. Now, before we put this onto our DSP, speaking of, this is a piece of that gorgeous Mixed Florals designer paper, or Mixed Media Florals, I guess it's called. So this is that stripe. So it's got that bold floral on the one side, this really pretty soft petal pink stripe on the other. So we're going to add a little bit of ribbon here. This is my favorite ribbon from the mini. It's Petal Pink Scalloped ribbon. Is that not just the prettiest thing? Love, love, love this ribbon. I may or may not have a few rolls that are coming in order. I ordered just one to start and immediately ordered some more once we were able to, because it is very pretty. All right, so this is going to go on about 1.5 inches or so up from the bottom. And kind of eyeball it. Okay, so I've just taken a bit of ribbon, added some glue dots, and adhered it to the back side of my panel. Now we're going to go ahead and glue that onto our card base. This is a soft sea foam card base, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. All of my cards have the same card base dimension today. I was on a vertical 10-fold kick apparently when I was designing all of these cards. Oh, Julie, you got some of that ribbon today. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely love this ribbon. Often I don't like scallop ribbon because the scallops are quite pronounced. This has just got the teeniest, most delicate scallops, and it's double-sided, so it's easy to tie. You don't have to worry about, having the reverse side showing. So it's very pretty. All right, so there is our card base. Now we're ready to add our focal image. I'm just going to rearrange this a little bit. I don't like this blade of grass sticking up. Oh, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to give it a little bit of a haircut. So I want this bit to move. It's going to come over here. There we go. I like that better. All right, we are going to adhere this, except that's now too tall. We've got to put it lower. There we go. We're going to adhere this with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to add a few to the back, and that is going to also secure all of our grass to the back here. I only put a couple of strips of seal, so it's just kind of tacked in place. But by adding the dimensionals, it makes sure everything stays put. So we'll get rid of our backings. And we're going to pop this on. And I'm going to put it over a little bit to the right because I need room for my label. Okay, so my label is going to kind of fit right here. And I don't want to cover too much of this beautiful image. So we're going to put it right about there. Okay, all right, so now we're going to pull in our label. So this is one of those beautiful mixed label die cuts. Isn't that the cutest, sweetest border? Yeah, I really, really like that. It's just so delicate looking. It's very sweet. Okay, Now let's do some stamping. We're going to stamp You're Pretty Wonderful onto this pretty label. And I'm going to ink again in Smoky Slate. And again, because these are red rubber and because I just realized I did not mount this stamp straight at all, we're going to fix it. See, this is why we do a test run. Because, yeah, it's live video, people. We don't want to stamp crooked on live video, do we? There we go. Wouldn't be the first. Oh, see, that was crooked. Still crooked. All right, we're going to take our chances. I got goop on my label. Okay, cross your fingers. Let's hope this is relatively straight. Oh, look at that. Nailed it. See, practice runs. Practice makes perfect, don't they say? All right, so this is going to tuck in right about here. And I have this extra little die cut sprig of the blue flowers that is going to kind of tuck in behind my label. But then I'm also going to stamp a few of those little blue flowers, except I think I put that stamp away. Where are you, little bitty stamp? Is it in here? It is. Look at that. All right, we're going to stamp one of these little guys here. I'm going to take this off so I have a block. And we're going to add a little bit of our blue flowers just at the bottom of the label to fill in some of that empty space. So I'm going to stamp in Smoky Slate, just like that. And then I'm going to fill that in with my Pool Party light Stampin' Blends. There we go. And then this guy is going to kind of glue onto the back of our label. Now I just need to think about how much I want to have showing because I don't want to cover my tulips too much. I think I might kind of angle it that way. So we'll flip that over and put a bit of seal on there. And we'll bring that back. Just see what that's going to look like. Is that going to work? Yep. Okay. So our label is going to go on. It's going to get glued flat to this popped portion. We're going to put one dimensional, maybe top and bottom, above and below the ribbon to secure that. But first, we're going to tie a bow. So I'm going to bring back my pretty ribbon, make my little bunny ears, left over right, around and through, and then adjust my loops. So this ribbon is surprisingly easy to tie bows with. Like I said, I often find scallop ribbon is a little bit hard to work with. This is not. This is so pretty. So we'll give that a trim. And then we're going to adhere that bow to the end of our label here, just to that point. We're going to glue it to the back side. So we just see it peeking out. Kind of like that, okay? And then that is going to get glued. And because of the bulk of the knot, it's pretty much going to lay flat anyway. We really probably don't even need any dimensionals. So we're just going to go ahead and stick that on, and I think we'll be golden. Now, when I first made this card, I put this on so crooked. It was kind of funny. Let's just see. I have to look at the camera, look at the... There we go. I think that's pretty straight. Okay, the last touch is to add some of those pretty embellishments. As soon as I figure out where I put them, they're behind me here. So these are those low profile dots. And I'm using some of the Petal pink ones. Now you do, and this is where I'm going to use my, actually I might use my blue goo end. With these low profile dots, if you try to pick them up with your pokey end, you may end up popping the front, like end up separating your embellishment. So if you use your blue goo end and just pick them up that way, you are more likely to get the entire embellishment rather than just part of it. Okay, so there we go. You like that one? I hope this makes you feel a little bit springy. It certainly did me when I made it. And again, I'll show you the inside of my sample here. So again, I got a little bit more of that tulip image, colored it just like I did on the front, and then added another sentiment. Okay, you like that one? All right. Hi, Terry. Welcome. Hi, Mia. You made it. All right. Okay, that is card number 2. Let's bring in number 3. I'm just going to clean up a bit of my mess here. All right, I need my Smoky Slate, so we're going to keep that handy so I'm not digging for it later. Okay, so here is card number 3. So I played around. Do you ever sit down to make a card and have one idea in your head and end up with something that looks nothing like what you originally thought? This is one of those times. This is not anything like what I thought it was going to look like, but I actually really, I think this is better than what I thought it was going to look like. So I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to start with this largest circle from the Spotlight on Nature dies. Okay, this is the largest one. It's almost 4 inches across. Okay, and I'm going to bring in a stamp from another stamp set that you probably missed. Again, it's another online exclusive. It's called Elements of Text. And if you're like me and you like doing collage stamping and ink blending and getting inky and messy, this is a must-have stamp set. Okay, this is probably never going to be put back in the case because I love it. So we have different sizes and fonts of text, and it's not meant to be anything red. It's really just meant to add texture. Okay, and then we have another one here, and this was just, it looks like spring. I can't read all the text. Again, it's meant to be worn, but just the fact that this says spring wins a place in my heart. And then we've got some spatter stamps. What's not to love about a spatter stamp? So honestly, this set, again, online exclusive, easy to miss. When you are looking in the online store for online exclusives, my best advice is to click on shop products and then what's new, and then sort alphabetically. Okay, if you sort alphabetically, you're going to get like things from sweets grouped together. So that's how I shop when I'm in the online store. So that's my best advice for seeing all the new things. So this large sort of round text stamp is going to get stamped just in the middle of our circle here. Okay, so I'm going to ink it with some smoky slate. And we're just going to stamp this somewhere in the middle-ish. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. All right, now we're going to do a little ink blending. It's been a while since I've done ink blending in a life. So I've just got my small blending brush again, because when I first started out with this, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a little around the edges. And then before I knew it, I was doing the whole thing. I'm using Boho Blue ink, and I'm going to come on from the edge because I want that sort of detailed die cut edge to be darker than the rest of my circle here. I really want to highlight that delicate lacy edge. So this is not rocket science by any means. I'm just always coming on from the edge so that I make sure I catch the edge so that I get lots of ink on the edge. And look at the pretty pattern that I get when I do that. Make it pretty stencil. All the way around. I certainly could be using a larger blending brush. I just didn't have my large blending brush is in dark blue. So I'm using sort of a medium blue brush. I could wash the large one, but that takes effort. And then I have to wait for it to dry. And who's got that kind of time? So I just buy extras. All right, there we go. Isn't that pretty? Now you're probably thinking, okay, but there's 3 circles on that card. But are there? I'm going to show you a nifty little trick. So all that work to do 1 circle is all we need for this card. Okay, let's get these out of the way. Next, I'm going to bring in my background. So I was tempted to use that same plaster painting embossing folder, but I wanted something a little bit subtler. So this is the Dashing Designs embossing folder. It's from the annual catalog, and I actually somehow bought 2 of these folders. I have no idea how, but I have 2, so I figured I better use them. So this lovely pattern, I just love the sort of geometric, it looks like almost like a crocheted Afghan to me. So that is going to be our background. So we are going to glue this circle in the bottom right corner. Okay, and when I flip this over, you're going to see I have some excess, and that's by design. Okay, I want to have some excess. So I'm going to just kind of flip this over. I'm going to add some seal. And then I'm going to stick this down, making sure that my text is right side up and straight. Okay. Oh, you ordered the eyelid embossing folder twice, Mia. Yep, it happens to the best of us. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my little guillotine. You could do this with a regular trimmer. You could even do it with scissors, but I want a straight edge because these little offcut bits we're actually going to use on our card front. Now I'm going to flip this over that I'm lining my up so I get a nice clean cut. So there's one. Got a little bit of seal on there. It's sticking to my blade. And then I'm going to flip this around and cut my second. Okay, so now I have my first circle down in my corner there. Okay, all right. Now these pieces, I didn't want to throw them away. And as luck would have it, when I layer these here, they're actually right side up. The text is right side up. It was a happy little accident because this one came off of here. We're just going to flip it over to this side. This one came off the bottom. It's going to pop up to the top, just like that. All right, so we're going to add these extra little bits. We're not going to waste them. Work too hard to make them, so we're going to use them. And I have to pick this up so I can see that this is right up to the edge because I cannot see white against white to save my life. Oh, Deb, yeah, first one in your shopping cart. Yeah, it was right on my list too. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that must be mine. I hope it sticks around for a long time because I love it. We're going to stick this one down. Laura was another one who knew that she needed it. Okay. Y'all have to buy it so that it sticks around, right? The things that sell well, stay. All right. So now we're going to layer that piece on a piece of Boho Blue cardstock. It's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay. So that's just going to layer on there. So we'll just get a little bit of glue on there and pop that on. And burnish that really well. Just make sure whenever you've got embossed panels, you got to burnish a little bit more than you. Now, this is not pretty, right? We're going to hide it with our label. But first, we're going to finish coloring our flowers. So these little daisies, again, I've colored most of it, but I'm going to show you what I did. So I actually went a little Patty Bennett. Anybody watch Patty Bennett? Patty loves to use like a whole bunch of shades of the same color when she's coloring flowers. So I actually am using dark and light balmy blue and dark and light boho blue to color my daisies. Okay, so I'm going to start with some light balmy blue. And again, I'm being really sort of haphazard here, not super careful. Okay, then I'm going to come in with my light boho blue. Add a little bit more. Okay, not pretty. Then I'm going to come in with my dark balmy blue. Blend that out a little bit. A little bit more around the top. And then I'm going to come in with my dark boho blue. And this one I'm going to be fairly sparing, right? I don't want it to overpower what I have already done here. I don't want it to be the only shade I see. I want to see all of those different shades of blue. So I'm just kind of tickling my cardstock there. And then I'm going to come back with my light balmy blue and just blend this all out. Okay, so we're just going to fill this all in. I may need to add a little bit more of the light balmy blue. I feel like this is a little bit too light. It's easier to add more than it is to take away. I mean, you certainly can use your color lifter. I used that actually yesterday to fix up a little boo-boo on a card that I will show you later. I got a little heavy-handed. Yeah, we're going to add just a little bit more of our light boho blue here, just to give a little bit more shading here on the petals. And the thing is that it really almost blends immediately because this is so wet from all the different layers of ink. it just kind of magically blends. There we go. Isn't that pretty? All right, so that is the daisies. And then we're going to do the cone, or the center of the daisy. I am going to start with some light wild wheat. So we're going to color it, the whole thing, with light wild wheat. And then I'm going to come in with my dark, and I'm just going to do little dots, kind of over where the dots are on the image. Okay, and that's just going to add a really subtle little bit of shading there. And then the last thing is our smaller flowers. I'm using Moody Mauve, light to start. And again, we'll fill in these little flowers really quickly. Not being super careful. And then I'm just going to come in with the dark, and I'm just going to add a quick little swipe of the dark, sort of at the centers. And that is it. Really quick and easy. Okay. What I think it's just Patty, Stamp with Patty, I think is Patty's YouTube channel, Edith. She is an amazing colorer of flowers and a lovely human. All right, so we are going to go ahead and add this onto the front of our panel here with some dimensionals. So we will throw a few of these on there. Okay, and I'm going to have this right to the edge because I kind of want it to be grounded at the edge of my cardstock so it touches the edge. Don't want it to float. Come here, you little backing. There we go. So we're just going to layer this so that the edges of my image are touching the edges of my panel there. And then that is going to get glued onto a card base. I will add my sentiment in a second. I haven't forgotten, don't worry. 4 1/4 by 11, so same dimensions. Ooh, look at that. You know what? We're going to fold this way so we can hide that little inky mess. Don't know where that came from. So we will cover that with our good old front panel here, and then we won't have an inky mess. Well, we will, but no one will know, and you won't tell them, right? Okay, there we go. And our last couple of touches, we're going to stamp our label. So this is a smaller version of that same label that we used on the last card. Okay, and we are going to stamp, where is it? Your kindness made my day. And I'm going to use my Memento Black once again. I should mention I did stamp my floral image in Memento Black as well. Now this one is really tricky to fit because it's a very tight squeeze. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. Let's hope that this, oh, look at that. It mostly fit. The D is kind of up a little high, but that's okay. I can live with it. All right, so we're just going to pop this on, and it's going to go on and hide that straight edge of our panel there. Oh, look at, I should have moved my flowers over a little more. Maybe we'll do it this way. Yep, we're going to tuck it in behind so we can see our pretty flower. So a couple of dimensionals. We're going to tuck this in behind. And again, try and get it straight. Always a challenge for me. There we go. Is that straight? Ish? Not quite. Is that better? Yes. All right. And then the last touch, a couple of brushed brass butterflies, which are still around. And they're the perfect little embellishment for these, for this suite, for these pretty flowers. I'm just going to add a few of these. I like the way the gold works with the wild wheat. And there we go. You like that one? Now on the inside of this, I kept it super simple because I'd done like lots of stamping and coloring on the other one. So I just stamped that little floral image and a thank you. Kept it really, really simple. All right, so let's bring these all back. I'm going to show you a few more ideas because I couldn't stop with this set, or this suite, I should say. Clean up my mess a little. Okay, here we go. Before I let you go, here is one. This is that green wash that I've embossed using that plaster painting embossing folder. A little bit of torn card DSP. Look at that sweet little ladybug. Aren't they cute? Look how cute that is. All right, here's a really simple sympathy card. Again, some tone-on-tone stamping in the background. Here is one I did that uses that large 12 by 12 where I cut panels from. Super simple, a little bit of ribbon and a label, and that was that. This was my make and take from the live launch party last week. And then this one was from our team meeting last night. So one of our Stamping Symphony members demonstrated this cool fun fold that opens like this. So I decided I had this suite out, so I thought, why not just keep working with it? So really showcases patterns from the DSP, and just see how that really busy pattern works so well when paired with some of the quieter, more subdued patterns. Here's one that I posted earlier. Was it yesterday? I think earlier in the week. It must have been yesterday. Today's only Tuesday. I love the way the floral image pops against the black and white. And then here is some spotlighting. I haven't done the spotlight technique in so long. And I mentioned using the color lifter. I got a little heavy-handed with this tulip. It was really, really dark. So I used the color lifter to add some highlights, and it works a little bit better. So, you don't have to color the entire image, right? Just coloring part of the image works really, really well as well. And then I tried a new technique. So this technique I have seen done, and I've been wanting to try it. I just hadn't found the right floral image. And this one, it's called pointillism. If you have studied art history at all, pointillism was a movement around the turn of the 1900s in part of the Impressionist movement. But if you look really closely, just see how it's all filled in with little dots. And when I zoom out, you get this gorgeous shading. Isn't that fun? Oh my goodness, I had so much fun with this technique. And it's time consuming. It's not something that happens super quickly. I used Petal Pink and Fleur de Flamingo, light and dark, for the tulips. I used Green Apple Green, light and dark, and Shaded Spruce, light and dark, on my, what is this? Shy Shamrock, on my leaves. And then on these little guys, it was light and dark Boho Blue. Okay, isn't that cool? I love this technique. I'm gonna have to do it some more. All right, everybody, that is it for me. I hope you like these ideas. Check out this suite. It is so easy to miss, as I said. That's why I wanted to highlight it, because it is absolutely a stunner. Okay, check it out. Thank you for joining me today. I'm gonna get out of my desk view so I can say a proper goodbye to you all. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and I will see you next week for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. Bye for now.